What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to another video at Axe Entertainment. I am your host, Zack Axe, bringing you another edition of WWE Weekly Awards. Now, for the most part, this was a very fun week of wrestling. I'd say NXT definitely was the best show out of the three. NXT definitely showed up Raw and Smackdown this week. I think Smackdown was good and bad, had some good and bad parts, and Raw was overall enjoyable. So, pretty fun week of wrestling. Can't wait to talk about it. Before we get into things, just know that the NXT Heatwave R&R will be coming out sometime in the next few days. That was a very... You'll hear my thoughts about that when we get to it. But anyways, let's get into the weekly awards. We're going to go ahead and start with promo of the week. Now, promos this week were pretty good. There's a lot of decent promos. I'm going to go ahead and give honorable mention for promo of the week to The Vision and Jey Uso for their promo to open Monday Night Raw. That one was something. And then Becky Lynch, of course, before she was interrupted by everybody and their mom on SmackDown, was having a pretty decent promo where she was insulting, her hometown. But I am going to give promo of the week to a guy that I'm pretty sure come into the year awards, we're going to look back and see that John Cena won this award the most, because that's who's winning this award right now is John Cena. Now, John Cena just absolutely destroyed Logan Paul, and I've never seen anybody do this to Logan Paul, that I can remember at least. I know he had some trouble keeping up with The Miz and their promo battles and a couple other people like that, but never like this. Logan got so flustered, I couldn't tell if it was completely real or if he was playing the character, but he was flustered for most of that promo. He just couldn't get his words out correctly. He just couldn't say what he meant. He had to think about it a little bit longer than he usually does. And overall, he was just having trouble keeping up with John Cena, while John Cena was just throwing left after right after left after right, throwing shade at, the allegations against Logan Paul that he's had in the past, throwing shots at just everything that you can imagine about Logan Paul. He didn't throw a shot at the thing I was hoping he threw a shot at, because I thought it would be kind of funny, and I thought if anyone was going to throw a shot at something that Logan Paul did, if you guys know what I'm talking about, it would be John Cena. But John Cena just holding back, not at all, just throwing everything he had, of course, at Logan Paul. And this is what I said when I saw this match was announced, that this match was going to be a lot of good promo work. And so far, it was good promo work from John Cena, but Logan got really flustered early. So we probably have one more week left of promos for these two. Hopefully, we'll see him again face-to-face on SmackDown, and hopefully this time Logan can maybe keep his composure a little bit more. I know it's hard in the ring against someone like John Cena. And maybe thinking about it now, because he did get approached by Drew McIntyre saying, yeah, you were flustered. Maybe he was supposed to get flustered, but either way, it was still a good promo for John Cena, and he's winning promo of the week. Next one I'm going to give out is match of the week. Now, by far, this one was the hardest, because this week had plenty of great matches. Plenty. Let's just start with Monday Night Raw. So I thought when I watched Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker on Raw, even when it got announced as an Extreme Rules match, I was like, for sure this is going to win match of the week, because this match is just going to be insane. And the match was good, had some good spots, but I thought it was going to be the match of the week, but then it got beat 3 times on NXT. There was 3 matches on NXT that was better than the match on Monday Night Raw. And I'm going to honorable mention to Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. Honorable mention to Javon Evans versus Trick Williams to main event NXT. That one was very close to winning. And the closest one to winning, I'm going to give another shout out to the Elegance Brand versus Fatal Influence. That was a very good match. But I'm going to give match of the week to Yoshiki Inamura versus Josh Briggs in a Philadelphia street fight. Now, this match off the get-go was insane. We had so many crazy spots. We came right back from a little break, a commercial break, into a superplex onto 4 chairs where there was a barricade piece set up in it. And there was also a stage. I really liked the arena NXT was in this week. There was a stage, so the ring had the ring floor, and then another stage after that they could play with. And these are the only 2 guys all night that really explored that part of the arena, which of course was a street fight, but that was very cool. At one point we saw Yoshiki Inamura get taped onto the ropes and start getting caned by freaking Josh Briggs, hitting him with that kendo stick in the back. We saw a trash can spot where Josh Briggs got a trash can put on his spot and started getting chopped and punched and kicked and hit with a baseball bat by Yoshiki. Of course, causing him to bleed. I think it was a very good way to blade, by the way, because I'm pretty sure he bladed. I'm 99.9% sure. And it was really good because he was in a trash can, and his arms weren't visible, so he could kind of just... It was very good. We had the Yoshiki splash, whatever you want to call that, through a table to Josh Briggs, and then that was kind of leading into the final moments of the match, where we got... Well, first of all, for that, Briggs got right back on the table, and there was a couple parts in this match where Briggs was helping Yoshiki, setting up the table. He was pushing the things down, and all kinds of like weird little stuff that you can just notice. And when Yoshiki hit him with an elbow for the Yoshiki splash on the table, Josh Briggs stumbled back 3 steps and then climbed on the table. So that was a little bit cringeworthy, but after that, then we ended with a crazy moonsault by Josh Briggs through the table where he missed like most of his body. He did a moonsault, and usually it's stomach on stomach because we're trying to connect, and he hit him with his legs to put him through that table. My 2 gripes about the ending is just A, his shoulders weren't on the ground. One shoulder was on the table, one shoulder was clearly up in the air, so that shouldn't have been a pinfall. And B, the commentator said, "Oh, he got all of that." No, he didn't. He literally missed it and hit him with his legs. But it made it cooler. Like, don't get me wrong, it made it cooler that he missed the moonsault and drove him through with his legs because it looked like a new special move, So overall, that match was very good, and I think it was a very tough competition this week, but that match is going to win match of the week. Now I have 2 topics for you. Obviously, we're going to do the speed round, and I'm going to go ahead and go into this one. This one's just going to be the honorable mentions for match of the week. So I want to talk about the matches that I just gave honorable mention to because they were all so good. I didn't want to just give them an honorable mention and skip past them. So let's go ahead and get into Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. Now this match was absolutely insane. This was like a mini Bloodline Rules match on Monday Night Raw. Of course, we had the interference from The Vision, from Seth Rollins, from then on the other side we had the interference from LA Knight, from CM Punk, and of course from Roman Reigns. So we had like a ton of people interfering, like a Bloodline Rules coming out to stop one another. And it had some very good spots too. We had a lot of cool spots. I'd say the coolest spot of the match was the clothesline with the trash can off the announce table, like the announce table clothesline that Breaker does, but he had a trash can in his hand and smacked Uso in the face with it, and then Uso ends up picking up the win after Roman comes out. So that match overall was very good, and I think that it was very close to winning this award if NXT didn't just show up and show out, because then we got to NXT and we had Fatal Influence versus the Elegance brand. Now this match wasn't there for like crazy spots or anything. It was just crazy good wrestling, crazy fluent. Of course, if you don't know either of these teams, then you need to go watch NXT, because this is one of the best women's factions, if not the best women's faction in all of wrestling today. And Ash by Elegance's group is coming out too. So I really like both of these groups, and I wouldn't mind seeing a feud between these 2 groups continue, because this match was so good, and it was just so, like I said, fluent. Like, it wasn't the most spot-filled match, but it was so fluent, so many good kicks, so many good counters, so much good, even the interference. Like, there was so much crazy stuff happening in this match, and it was just a very good 3-on-3. And then finally, Javon versus Trick. This match was just so good too. Like, it's crazy how good NXT was this week. We had some crazy spots in this match as well. We had a big boot off of the Rift that almost finished Javon Evans. Of course, they were fighting for the #1 contendership for Obafemi's title heading into Heatwave. And I'd say the crazy spot from this match was when Javon Evans tried to springboard into the ring. Trick Williams grabbed him and shoved him, and he went through the announce table, but only his legs hit. Like, he flipped past the announce table, almost took out Corey Graves, and smacked his legs on the table, and the table broke. And it was a very cool spot nonetheless. It made it look even more dangerous, even more, whatever. And then we got into the final moments of the match where we saw Trick Williams going for the trick knee. He looked over at Obafemi to send a message. He was sitting in the with the balconies, and instead of Obafemi being there, it was Mike Santana just sitting there, and it distracted him long enough for OG to hit the OG cutter, and then another springboard OG cutter, and Javon Evans picks up the win heading into Heatwave. So that was a very good match. I think the right person won that match, because like I said, I wanted Javon to win that match, and he did, and they just had a good match to boot. So all 3 of these matches I got honorable mention were so close to winning match of the week. These 3, and then Yoshiki and Briggs, 4 very, very good matches, especially for just a random, 2 days of free TV. So I guess not free, it's on Netflix now, but you know what I'm saying. For free TV, it was very, very good, and there was 4 great matches this week. The next award I'm going to give out male MVP. Now, male MVP was a little bit easier to give out this week because I just said a lot of the matches that happened, and those are the ones that obviously are going to end up leading to getting you male MVP. So that's why honorable mention is going to Jey Uso and Josh Briggs, the 2 guys that won those respective matches that we just talked about. But I'm going to give male of the week to Javon Evans. Now, of course, Javon Evans is going to win this because even though they all had great matches, all 3 of the guys that were in the 2 guys are honorable, even though the 2 guys are in the honorable mentions and Javon Evans all were honorable mentions, even though the 2 guys in the honorable mentions and Javon Evans all had a great matches overall, I'd still say that Javon Evans is winning this award because he won a #1 contender shot. Like, Jey Uso beat Braun Breaker, but he's already got a #1 contender shot. and Josh Briggs is definitely going to move up the card, hopefully, with this win over Yoshiki, but neither of them confirmed for anything. This was a number one contender match for Javon, so Javon is the number one contender for the NXT Championship, so I think that easily is going to win him male MVP after having a phenomenal match with Trick Williams. He gets a shot at Obafemi's NXT Championship, so I think picking Javon Evans to win this award is fairly easy this week. Next one I'm going to give out is female MVP. Now, female MVP, kind of the same as male MVP, a couple good options, but not very many. I'm going to honorable mention to Naomi. I know Naomi didn't have a match this week, and all she did this week was relinquish her title, but she also made the announcement that she is expecting baby Uso. So congratulations to Naomi and Jimmy Uso. So I'm going to give her an honorable mention just for having that announcement, and she even flipped her promo and turned it into a heel promo, so that was pretty funny. But I'm going to give female MVP to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch had 2 matches this week, and I know a lot of times when you have 2 matches on weekly awards that fall into the same week, one on Raw, one on Smackdown, one on NXT, whatever, you usually have a higher chance of winning this award. And Becky Lynch beat Natalya in a pretty decent match on Monday Night Raw. It wasn't the best match, but she of course defended her Intercontinental Championship against Natalya and beat her. And then we got into Friday Night Smackdown, where she was in the losing effort, teaming with Nia Jax to take on Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. But still, she had that match week. She won the first match, lost the second match, but she still had 2 matches in the week. So I think Becky Lynch was a pretty easy choice, just like Javon Evans, to win female MVP. It is now time for the speed round. If you don't know what the speed round is, it's Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton are going right back to the same storyline they had before, SummerSlam. And it wasn't fun then. It didn't work then. And it's literally just they come out to help each other. And then Tiffany looks at Jade and goes, I didn't need your help out there. Or Jade looks at Tiffany and goes, I don't need your help out there. We had another one of those moments this week. So it looks like we're heading into another feud between these two. But we're going to get the same storyline of not having a storyline and just saying, I don't need your help. So that was pretty stupid if you ask me. Alexis King pepper sprayed Miles Bourne this week on NXT. He looked at him, he said, it's so hard for you to be deaf and blind, I bet. And Miles was like, Alexis, I'm deaf, I'm not blind. And then Alexis King just pulled out a bottle of pepper spray, sprayed him, and said, well, now you are. And great heel work from Alexis King. Alexis King came up and he acted all nice, and he liked trying to apologize to Miles and be nice and be like, hey, I'm sorry that I made fun of your condition, being deaf and all. And then say, I'm sorry you're deaf and blind, and then that happens. So great heel work from Lexus King. He made it seem like he was being apologetic to Miles Bourne for how he treated him because of their match. And then it looks like we're going to get this continuing. And yeah, that was just crazy. He pulled out a bottle of pepper spray on WWE TV and sprayed him in the eyes. Logan KO'd Cena to end the end of Friday Night Smackdown. So of course we had Brock Lesnar getting mentioned by Nick Aldis, saying, hey, Brock Lesnar's coming. I said something, I don't remember, something about Brock Lesnar. And Logan Paul KO's John Cena to end off Friday Night Smackdown. But that's pretty funny too, because the Raw version, the Netflix version and the USA version had 2 different versions. Like in one, Logan comes out of a different way than the other one, and then talks more in the USA version than he did the other one. So that was kind of weird. Like I don't know why they would do that, because there was no big drastic difference between the two. Drastic difference between the two. Like they were kind of the same thing, just different angles. So I don't know why they retaped it and played it on a different one. Anyways, Ricky Saints beat Jasper Troy in NXT. Of course, Jasper Troy had a match, I think, 2 weeks ago that ended in count out for Jasper Troy. Now this one ends in pinfall for Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints coming out with the big win. He won with the tornado DDT because obviously he wasn't picking up Jasper Troy for the Rochambeau. So he hit him with the DDT on the outside, picked him up, threw him in the ring, hit him with the DDT again, and picked up the win. So big win for Ricky Saints moving forward. During Paul Heyman's promo, I'm sure you were waiting for this one. During Paul Heyman's promo, he was naming the list of people that from ECW that aren't with us anymore. He said the late great Sabu. I don't remember who else he said right there, but then he said the late great Tommy Dreamer, and then he heard the whole crowd shift because they all knew, of course, Tommy Dreamer's not dead. So the whole crowd shifts, and the Paul Heyman goes, "Oh, he's not dead, but he should be." Holy hell, that was crazy. I thought Tommy Dreamer and Paul Heyman liked each other. That's hilarious. Yeah, Paul Heyman is just unhinged with these promos recently. Dark State said Joe Henry's name, and he appeared out of a locker-like thing behind Dark State this week. This is pretty funny. We're going back to what we used to do back in TNA when someone would say Joe Henry's name, he just pop out of something random. Well, they're doing it again, and this time they're doing it in NXT. So he popped out of the fridge last week. This week he's popping out of a little compartment thing. And then Cutler James told him that you do not want Dark State behind you in a very, you-know-what manner. That was pretty crazy. Cutler James's gimmick of just saying butt stuff is pretty funny. Of course, we have the one that I played the last couple weekly awards, right in your butt, and then he said funnier ones recently. Of course, right behind you for Dark State, and he said another one last week. Cutler James is obsessed with saying butt related stuff, and that's a funny gimmick. Mr. Iguana appeared on Monday Night Raw and had a way better showing than he did on Friday Night Smackdown. So of course, when he teamed with Psycho Clown on Friday Night Smackdown, it ended up being a botch-filled match, which sucked. But on the match Monday Night Raw, he teamed with Dragon Lee to take on the Judgment Day, and it was a very good match, very fun match, very cool tag spot when he tagged in Dragon Lee and then just dove backwards. The camera wasn't even ready for that one. He just dove and took out, I think JD was on the outside. And then El Hilo del Vikingo came out, which I love El Hilo. He's absolutely amazing. He's one of the best wrestlers that AAA and WWE even has. So it was pretty lit that he showed up on Monday Night Raw to continue his feud with Dominic Mysterio. And I hope we get some more of Iguana and El Hilo del Vikingo on the main roster, because those two are just absolutely insane. Aleister Black was supposed to wrestle R-Truth again, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to happen 3 times now, and it just ends up never happening. I don't know if that's a little rib that we're getting played as the audience, thinking that R-Truth is going to wrestle Aleister Black every week. I know they did wrestle once, but then they're supposed to wrestle again, and it just keeps getting moved or pushed or something. But anyways, it happened again, and then we had Damian Priest come out to confront Aleister Black, and they just started brawling, and I'm very excited for this feud. I hope this feud ends up being a pay-per-view match and not a match that just happens on SmackDown. I think this match could very well be a Clash in Paris match or even a Survivor Series match. I think this match is going to be great, and I'm really excited for Damian Priest versus Aleister Black. And then Randy Orton's back. We haven't seen Randy Orton since SummerSlam, where he teamed with Jelly Roll, and he came out during Drew McIntyre's promo to RKO Drew McIntyre. So if I had to guess, I would guess we're going to lead into a Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton little stint while we wait for Cody Rhodes to get back, and then Cody Rhodes versus Drew when he does come back will be Drew McIntyre versus him at probably Survivor Series would be my guess. Alright, last one I'm going to give out is Team of the Week. Now, Team of the Week, I'm going to have honorable mentions to the Judgment Day. We talked about them. The Street Profits for knocking off the MFTs on Friday Night SmackDown. That was a crazy win. And then Fatal Influence, of course, we talked about them also. They looked great. But I'm going to give Team of the Week to Mello Don't Miz. Yeah, you thought I was stupid when I gave the first award to the Miz last week. Well, guess what? He's winning an award this week, too. And I feel like both these are justified, too. Maybe not male MVP as much, but this one's easily justified. So, if we think about it, Judgment Day picked up a win over a guy that's not even on Monday Night Raw, so their win gets discredited a little bit, and it wasn't for the titles or anything, so it didn't make it big stakes. And then we go over to the Street Profits and Mello Don't Miz, who are and then Fatal Influence, of course, they got a whole top. We talked about them already, so they weren't winning this award, but they looked great. And then we get into Mello Don't Miz and Street Profits are kind of your last two options. Well, the freaking Street Profits beat MFTs, and one of them was Tongaloa, so immediately disqualified. We're giving it to Mello Don't Miz because they knocked off the Motor City Machine Guns, and it was actually a very good match. We kind of got a storyline going where the Miz is saying he knows better than Carmelo, and then he's actually showing Carmelo that he knows better than him in the ring when he comes in to pick up the win. So I think Miz is completely right in this situation. I think this is a very fun tag team. I'm so happy that we're doing something with Carmelo, who's one of my favorite up-and-comers, and the Miz, who's my favorite of all time. Jesus. They're finally doing something, and now they have an opportunity to be number one contenders for the tag team championships. And if we give Miz a tag team championship here with Carmelo, that's going to be insane, because Miz already has 6 people he's tag team champions with. Let's see if I can do it real quick. John Cena, Big Show, R-Truth, Shane McMahon, Damian Sandow, and I think there's somebody I'm missing, but if he could just win this with Carmelo Hayes, that'd be the 7th guy that he's been tag team champion with. John Morrison. I forgot John freaking Morrison, the best one, not the best wrestler that he's been tagged, but the best tag team that he's been a part of. Wow, that's crazy. But anyways, that'd be 7 people that he's won the tag team titles with. He's a 10-time champion as of now, and I really love. We're doing another ragtag. I don't know what you want to call it, mixed match tag team, kind of like how we have We're Not Friends and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair doing down in the women's, or I said down, over in the women's tag team division. We have The Miz and Carmelo Hayes being a little bit of a weird pairing, making it work. And I love this tag team. This tag team's so entertaining, and I hope it continues, and I hope we continue to get Miz screen time. And if this leads to Miz being a champion, I'm going to be just as happy. But I think it's really justified that they win Team of the Week, so don't be mad at me just because I'm a Miz stan. The Miz and Carmelo Hayes are winning this award. That's all I got for you. 2 topics this week and 5 awards. I hope you guys did enjoy. If there's any award that you think I gave to the wrong person, go down to the comments and let me know. While you're down there, go ahead and like the video for me, subscribe. If you like this video and you want to be notified whenever I drop a video like this one, go ahead and ring that bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
This happened if I had real tough love, I'm bad at this, and I'm bad for this.
Narcissistic tendencies, I don't care about no one else. Narcissistic tendencies, I'm low, so set me on the shelf. Few people ever have my back, yeah, there ain't no doubt about that.
I'm gonna mention to Jimmy Uso, god damn it. Not Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso. I'm going to mention to Josh Briggs for winning his match, of course, against Yoshiki Inamura, and Jimmy Uso, I said it again, god damn it. I literally never do this, I always can I know which one's which.